No, no.
Okay, now we can be heard. We are live.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to Changeling the Lost Smoky Mountain Wilds. I am William Orshani, and I am your storyteller for this Changeling the Lost 2nd Edition Chronicle. And joining me today, we have our full group of Julia.
Hi, I'm Julia. I'm playing Cassandra Scott, the elemental polychromatic.
And Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm playing Joe Arbor, who is an elemental notary.
And Austin.
Hi, I'm Austin, and I'm playing a mess.
Yes.
Specifically named Frank and Lisa, who are beastkin and polychromatic. One's a polychromatic and one's a lethopop.
And Drevian.
I'm Drevian. I am the mess, and I'm playing Frisian.
Who is a Darkling Hunter.
Darkling Hunter Heart.
And Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I just read the message filth. And I am playing Jackson Montgomery, or Marlena Dubois, who is a Ferris Chatling.
And as always, Black Lives Matter, trans rights are human rights, eat the rich, believe women.
Fuck Vince McMahon.
Yeah, that one is our
Fuck J.K. Rowling.
Forever. Just forever. It is always fucking Vince McMahon Day.
I was typing, and I thought you said bully women.
No,
the opposite of that.
Yeah.
No.
we are not the Andrew Tate podcast. No.
I mean, he's
did
a
I
lot
say
more than
that?
just bully.
You're not wrong.
No bullying, y'all.
He goes beyond misdemeanors to full-on like international offenses.
Yes.
I'd like to
He has
also
fled the
reiterate, fuck J.K. Rowling,
Yes.
Absolutely.
Always fuck J.K. Rowling.
especially with her most recent
Oh God.
£7,000 donation for finding the definition of a woman legally
Of course she did.
within Scotland, which is a country she resides in, but was not born in.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, Scotland's going to look at that and go, at least I hope.
I hope so.
UK has been an unfortunate rash of quote unquote gender critical nonsense going on lately.
So I've heard.
They're like us.
Yeah. It's almost like we have a long and shared history.
Right?
I mean, we had to get it from somewhere.
But
I'm
Apple.
saying this is generational trauma.
Anyway.
Yes.
Scream 2.
I love that bled into the regular shows now. I'm so proud.
When last we left off, the motley that I don't know if you guys have a motley name at this point.
We've never picked one.
We've never had a name.
Just the motley.
Just 26 episodes in with no motley name.
What's in a name? A motley by any other name would be just as chaotic.
We are the Motley, capital T, capital M.
That sounds like a great title for a Changeling episode, though.
Done.
But the group, having completed their previously assigned task of engaging in a clandestine bit of espionage, while the face of the party conducts a faux meeting in order to gather more information about Joe's fetches, decided to make their way over to the Commons in order to prepare for making plans that'll have to be formed over the next couple of days and recruiting the assistance of the potential allies within the courts. And also dropping Frisian off to their job that they probably should, show up at some point if they wish to make any amount of money and have a steady source of glamour. But before we get to any of that, there was a bit of a dangling plot point that was left the last session on account of that player not being present. So now we slide the dial of time back a bit and drift over the dimensional boundaries into the hedge, where an individual has just been left alone with themselves, all a pair.
Okay.
So, Frank and Lisa, the door leading back into Marlena's home has just shut, leaving you alone with yourselves.
All right.
A whole lot of information that you just took in and or did not take in.
Yes. So, so Lisa is going to start kind of frantically looking around. Frank, watch it. Don't worry about it, Lisa. Everything is fine. There was a minor disagreement. Like, we're in the village, and there's thorns, and I think you wanted to attack us with an axe. It's fine. It's just how Jackson and I get along. It will be fine. All right, Lisa?
I should say when you're going Lisa voice, it's not coming through well.
You hit such a high pitch that your microphone is blocking it out.
Well, fine.
Sorry, I'm super enjoying it. I want to enjoy both sides. So
okay. It's there was a disagreement. What was the disagreement about? It was nothing, Lisa. Jackson and I were just having a disagreement about the state of his character. Really, a disagreement about the state of his character that caused someone to open a portal in the hedge and do whatever just happened. Yes. Jackson lost his temper. I might have. You don't lose your temper, Frank. If you lost your temper, that means something really, really bad happened. No, Lisa. I just got a little defensive, and I was trying to find the quickest way out of the situation. The situation is not to throw somebody into the bridge. I mean, we got out of the situation. That doesn't make it okay. All right, Lisa, we're here now. We're going to stay here for a little bit because I think Jackson and I need a little bit of time to calm down. What did you say to him? I was just concerned about the way that he's a little inconsistent. You know, he doesn't want to admit that he's part of the hedge. He's so horrified of everything related to the hedge, and yet he also seems to reject certain aspects of his humanity. Okay. Clearly, you went a little beyond just being slightly concerned. Yes, it's fine. Words were said. It'll be water under the bridge in no time. All right. What did Jackson say to you? Oh, nothing. He was just spouting some sort of nonsense. And Jackson has a lot of traits, and I may not be the biggest fan of Jackson. He's not really a liar, or a rambler. He tends to get pretty straight to the point. Yes. Well, he was angry and he said things in anger, and it's fine. You can't just keep saying it's fine. I don't believe it's fine. It's fine, but we've spent longer in the hedge than we have in the real. Don't worry about it. It's okay. We know how to get out. And we have a safe place if we need it. Now, you just have to believe me. Okay, I'll believe you, but you have to tell me what Jackson said. Or, wait, we were in the security room, right? Yeah. Why were we in the security room? Why would you confront Jackson in the security room? Oh. Don't worry about it, Lisa. Hold on. Where is... I have to make a roll.
Yeah.
I have to deflect against myself. So would that be...
Manipulation and subterfuge? And then oppose it with your own wits and empathy.
I'm a lot... no, I'm actually not that good at either one of those. Wits. Nothing.
You're not good at lying, but you're also not good at reading yourself. Although, is your subterfuge 0?
Yes, so is my empathy.
And is your manipulation 1?
Yes.
So that would have been a chance die. I think in this situation of it being you rolled a chance die and got nothing versus making an actual roll and getting nothing, I think the empathy wins out in that particular flaw.
Okay.
There.
Frank, why aren't you talking to me? You've never held anything back. Why are you trying to now, Lisa? Look, Jackson said some pretty bad things. All right? I mean, about me, but about both of us, and especially about you. And I know that you can get a little emotional. Exactly. And I think this is better to talk about after we've had a minute. Can we please just relax? And we need to figure out what we're going to do before we go back into the real. What do you mean before we go back into the real? Why do we have to do things before we go back in the real? Because, Lisa, I think the best thing to do would be to do them a favor. You know, show them that we care. Show them that we're still part of the team. And, if Jackson doesn't want to go into the hedge, that's understandable. Lots of bad memories. And I'm just thinking there are things in the hedge that our group needs. There are things that have to be done in the hedge. And who knows the hedge better than us? I suppose you're right, but you're kind of getting a little cagey about this. No, Lisa, I just had the thought. There's several things. I remember, there's those icons that we got to find to help some people out with their lost memories. But, we were talking about they're going through all this trouble with the parents and their changelings. If we rescued the parents, it would make a lot of this so much easier. Wouldn't it, Lisa? I mean, they don't have to worry about a cover-up. They don't have to worry about a lot of other things. And like you said, considering all of the things that have happened to them, they can't not have become better people. they'll learn to appreciate what they've got, and we can restore a family.
I'm gonna need a clarity roll from you real quick.
How does clarity work when I'm at massive amounts of clarity damage?
Just rolling your flat clarity value.
So the 7 by 7 max clarity.
Yeah, your maximum clarity.
I'm so excited to not be the person who most wants to kill Frank Lisa.
At this point, I'm not sure if Austin just doesn't have a checklist of people that to make want to kill Frank and Lisa.
Look, it takes some effort to get there, so they have to work through us one at a time. Give them time.
So, unfortunately, succeeding your clarity roll means that you are aware enough of your surroundings and of reality to notice this. So now I need you to roll a weird roll.
Uh-oh.
That's my straight weird.
Yeah.
Where this was going.
I was saying, how much does it cost to increase your weird? Because I'd mentioned last week about increasing it, but I never did. Was it 5?
It's like 5.
Yeah. 5
Okay.
experiences.
Cool.
Jeremy, you say it takes time to work through them.
I knew it.
All that's left is Julia's character now.
You're not wrong.
There's no. Understand. There's not going to be anything left to bother Julia's character. Okay.
I got a success.
Oh my, this is going to be exciting.
So, as much as you attempt to deny it, because that is literally who you are, Frank.
Yes, that is 100% who Frank is. It is on my character sheet. Frank knows what's going on. Frank is now lying to Lisa about it, so that Lisa doesn't have to know.
You are actively sort of turning this way and that as you argue and try and communicate. You've been wandering around in the hedge in an attempt to distract from the conversation with the physicality of the surroundings. And as you turn, you catch a reflection as the crystal clear and placid waters of a small puddle appear not on the ground, but sort of suspended in between branches as if caught on surface tension, as sort of this like crystal clear watery reflection suspended between brambles. And for the briefest moment, whether you disregard it entirely or unable to process what you're seeing, you view the combined, divided, bifurcated paths of Frank and Lisa. Both of you catch it in your own eyes. How either of you process that?
Lisa's gonna start. What was that? Pardon? That reflection in the water. Oh, looks back over. Oh, trick of the hedge. Hold on. What is the figuring things out like? Investigation and intelligence?
Wits or intelligence, and in either investigation or empathy, potentially.
I have neither of those skills. Oh, that's bad. That's one success for Lisa to try to figure this thing out.
Can I just say, by the way, I really want the final secret about Frank and Lisa to be that they're a keeper who was captured by another keeper and don't realize that they're a keeper because they're split in two to separate their power.
Okay, Frank. All right, if you say so. Does that cause a clarity point, or
At this point, I
does
would
Lisa have a
normally
separate
say
clarity from Frank?
not really at the moment because you are the same person.
Okay. Anyway, we've got to find some information. Who wants to go to a goblin market? And yeah, Frank and Lisa are going to go see if they can find some helpful hobgoblins to get information from, so that they can enact a rescue.
All right.
Oh, no.
Roll me wits and survival, just to see how well you can track down. You'll get your.
Do I get my hedge sense?
Yeah.
And survival, I have that one. Okay. 2 successes.
So with 2 successes, it takes you the better part of like the next like several hours. But you do eventually manage to hound your way through and find probably in the hedge. At least a day passes before you manage to locate the local goblin market by way of the hedge. How much time passes in the real, uncertain, but
A dramatically appropriate amount of time,
exactly.
which is what Frank is relying on.
But you do make your way into the local goblin market. And you are made to observe the statutes of the market, which basically include that you get what you pay for. All deals are final. No violence within the goblin market, and doff all hats upon entry, etc.
Of course. I've been to more than one goblin market in my time.
Every goblin market has different rules, but they all follow sort of a general theme.
I imagine that the first couple are pretty set in stone.
Yeah.
Once you've made a deal, deals are final.
Yeah.
Be careful how you phrase things.
Pretty much. But there are hawkers offering all sorts of mundane or surreal items. People offering dreams and drams and spider webs and tin cans and a variety of different objects from the real and from the hedge.
All right. I'm going to see if there's any hobgoblins here who might know where to find people.
Oh, it's in streetwise.
Yep, not that button. Two success.
As you sort of wander around for a bit, you hear word of the hunter hare, who is known as a ranging hobgoblin, one who has hunted and roamed the breadths of the hedge and is trading their knowledge for trinkets and interests.
I will approach this hobgoblin.
As you find their stall, they have the look of a you would almost call it a werelupine in a description, in that they have the look of a bestial hare, with a sort of a humanoid bent, but none of the gentleness or kindness that you would expect of a traditional rabbit, but more the large, wild fur that you would associate with the lupine and the crooked ears and wild eyes and the buck teeth that are commonly associated with rabbits are sharper than you might expect. And their garb appears to be like that of a wild man. They're sort of ragged bits of cloth and a bow slung over their shoulders. Why come you to the hunter hare, and what do you seek?
I seek to find one who is lost.
Those who are lost are many, but seldom are they found.
Indeed. But the condition of being lost, I'm not sure of on this one. They are certainly lost in the metaphorical sense, but I seek to see if they are lost in the physical sense as well, or if they are still kept in check by the one who took them.
More need I than simple query.
Yes. I know the the daughter-in-law of them, and the son. The son takes the form of a dragon. The daughter-in-law has the smell of coffee and old books.
The lines of family are valuable in the hunt, but on marks of the hedge little abides. The presence of blood might lead one to a scent, but by shape alone one cannot.
You need the blood.
I need a trace.
They have changelings in the real.
Yes, many come, many question, many come with things to hunt, things they wish to find. And I make many deals for those who wish to know.
Need a trace. Would something of the changeling provide enough to find the original?
The scent of family is strong. If one were to find a trace that belonged to one of the lineage, it may even direct one towards those who fall behind. But such services do not I offer for free.
Of course. What is the cost you seek?
The taste of emotion supped from the living of the real is sweet indeed, and would be accepted by many as fair payment for such task. Though should you be light upon this essence, something to seek, a hunt worthy of my time, perhaps. Might I trade information and trace beyond?
The emotions of the real, or a hunt of great value? Well, I shall solve the riddle of your price as I find a way to bring back that which you need to follow the trace. I'm trying to think because I don't have. There's no way I would have anything of. What is your character's name, Katie?
Joe.
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 There's no way I would have anything of Joe's on me.
No.
Yeah, but that's it's not my parents. It's my in-laws.
Yes, and while there's up, I have nothing. James.
Mm-mm.
Would perhaps an artistic rendering, a drawing of character, made in the real suffice?
Such things can often be imbued with the essence of those who are.
I am going to pull out the artwork of my character in story made of Joe and James with dragon babies.
Holy shit.
This is where you're going to need to roll me a retroactive dexterity in crafts. Just to see if it caught enough of the essence for a trace to be found.
See, now I'm wondering, at the time it was just funny. Was this your maniacal plot all along?
Oh, I wish. I don't suppose I can spend a retroactive willpower.
Sure, why not?
See, on the one hand, I love this.
That was a terrible roll.
On the other hand, thanks, I hate it.
So one success. You bring out the drawing, and the hair sort of leans forward and sniffs it as if inspecting it. He just sort of like lifts a taloned finger and points at the image of James. The scaled one is the one you seek to trace.
Yes, the parents of the scaled one. The parents of this scaled one, I say, pointing specifically at James so that it's not confused with the fictitious babies.
The essence is faint. A poor trace would this make, but not one that I cannot surmise with, though my price grows for meager scraps of a cent.
Perhaps if I add to it the wit and word, I will say, and I will pull up every single snarky text James has sent on my phone.
The scent is dulled through the technology of the real. Recorded in verse, perhaps, but through this, little abides.
Then perhaps they have a hollow. It's fine, Lisa.
It's you find such hidden lodge and well lead one toward, such a trace could I find with simple task, though I suspect locating such hidden ward is beyond thy means, even one such as thyself. Such places are designed by nature of hedge to be difficult to locate.
Difficult to
Unless
locate
known
by.
and bound by those they hold.
Difficult to locate by a hedge, but yet they bleed into the real. One who is a part of both worlds. And would not merely the contest of fighting against attempt to entry, provide one with the mindset of those who have set against it.
The clash of wills is not to be trifled, but the attempt to hunt may spoil the sense.
I have a hollow. I imagine I've encountered this clash of wills. How does the clash of wills feel from the hollow owner's side?
When someone is trying to invade your hollow that you own, and if you're not present, it's just kind of an odd feeling that's going to be difficult to trace. If you are in the hollow at the time, you are very aware when someone tries to break into your hollow.
Okay. That said, in the real, they had a home. The place from whence, because they were all taken from that.
Yes.
That place from whence they were taken. Would that not be an appropriate trace?
Sense and time may still abide, though if long has passed since snatched away, the essence may be faint and hard to spy. More challenging, perhaps, but should you seize the day, perhaps a trace you'll find.
I know where I'm going.
Return with hunt or taste of real, and the fate of your trace I may reveal.
All right, I'll be back. Step away from that encounter. Lisa's going to, as soon as out of earshot, Lisa's going to start yelling at Frank. Frank, why did you mention the hollow? That is not something that you should tell me. I was trying to find the best way to get information. I wasn't going to lead him into the hollow. I was simply suggesting if I could find something from there. Don't go into people's hollows without their permission. That's like the first rule. First rule of what? Of hollows. Right, Lisa. Okay. Rule number 1 of hollows. That's fine. We'll be okay. I'll just go to the little cabin in the woods, check it out. I can imagine there is plenty of things that will draw memories from there. You know, Frank, the way you're going about this is a little concerning. It's fine, Lisa. You know, the hedge requires a lot of sacrifice. That's why people like myself were given the gifts we were. In order to help with the emotions, to help keep people calm and stable in a swirling and changing world. I'm to be the anchor. You're to be the happiness.
Yeah,
Okay.
that anchor's coming loose.
Don't tell Lisa that.
It's starting to sound a little Stockholm syndrome, or like just abusive.
Okay, Frank. How are we going to get there? Well, make a portal out of the real and trust that whatever endeavors we up to amuse the keepers enough that we will be fortuitous in our timing and placement. Let's head out and create a portal into the real.
You find a door out into the real. So a couple of things are very important here. 1, how much time has passed. 2, where you emerge into. And 3, who's in charge when you step out.
Frank is firmly in charge right now. I suppose because Frank is kind of the default mode. I suppose I can have Frank roll his wits composure to see how well he maintains control.
This would be resolve and composure.
Resolve composure, right? Lisa angry. Thankfully, ones don't matter. That's a success.
I think Frank's
A little
is a
shaky.
bit tenuous at the moment.
Okay. Yeah.
But as you step out of the reel, or out of the hedge and into the reel, you find yourself let's see. Yes, you find yourself stepping out into the center heart of Old City in Knoxville, where some of the oldest buildings in the city still stand. And you have no idea what time it is or how long you've been in the hedge.
I check my phone.
Your phone takes a minute to sync up. It looks like you've been gone for the better part of a day, which is less time than you spent in the hedge.
Excellent. Get some glamour. Get some sleep. And then
I
suppose I've got a house to check out.
How do you navigate anywhere? Because you're in the middle of a city.
Pull up my phone. Step one, where am I? Look at the maps around my area.
You find yourself on the intersection of State Street and Commerce Avenue. The Cradle of Country Music Park is just across the highway from where you're at.
I'm gonna hop over there to see if I can get some glamour from music.
No, it's a park that is called the Cradle of Country Music.
Oh.
Whether or not there's actively anything there depends on the day.
I'll check it out.
Seems a little quiet right now, at the very least.
Is there anything of interest going on? Like, are there a lot of people here at all, or is it just
Roll wits and composure.
11 to 7 today? One success.
You look around, and there's only a handful of people here right now. It seems like there's like a couple of different disparate one or two person groups have sort of taken up a couple of the benches. This is not a large park by any means. In fact, it is mostly like stone, like a tile walkway with like bits of plant life interspersed around and like spread around. And there's a few thin trees and some benches in the shade. As you look around, you realize that while Old City might be sort of the alternative old-fashioned style section of Knoxville. It is relatively busy, at least right now, because while there's not a lot of people in the park, there are a lot of cars going by on all of the streets that are surrounding you.
All right. Lots of cars. How do I draw a strong emotional response from everyone around me? What?
Traffic and get hit.
Pardon?
Draw a strong emotional response from everyone around you. Run into traffic and get hit.
The funny thing is, I did think of that. But I need to be in peak physical condition for what I'm going to do next.
I mean, I was also going to say the same thing. For
Yeah,
pure reason.
your motive is slightly different. I think the emotional response would be a little. The emotional response you would get to be a different response.
Not really.
Lots of cars.
While you figure that out,
Yeah.
the camera shifts over to the other group as the vehicle pulls out of both of the vehicles, the security car and the primary car, pull out of the space in front of the home of the Fetches and start to make their way along the road. The security team has gotten back in the security car, and the everyone else has gotten back into the primary vehicle, which means that Fixer is in the car with
Joe
Tyr,
and-
with Tyr, Joe, and I think Frisian.
No, Joe's husband.
No, and James. Yeah, with Tyr, Joe, and James.
Yeah.
Where Frisian, Marlena, and Cassandra are all in the other car. So as the two of you are in the back of the security car, Fixer asks, "All right, where are we headed in the meantime while I hook up to a data feed and figure out what's going on?"
Well, we've been kind of working out of Jackson's house.
And back there?
I think so.
Meanwhile, in the primary car, Jackson, where are you headed?
I mean,
Back to your place?
that's where we go.
All right, fair enough. So,
Time on the way there. Hey, Cassandra. Since Fixer needs a day, we should teach Joe how to actually use a knife. You're muted, Julia.
you're muted.
My cat was setting spacebar. That's probably a good idea. Hold on. That's probably a good idea. I forget. Did she say she knows how to use a gun?
If she does, she probably could still use more practice.
That's fair. I can get. Bologna will definitely help there. They are definitely better skilled with guns than I am. So, but You're right. If she's gonna go in there, we need to make sure that she's got as much of that she's got as many tools as she can to do what she's going to do. I do not want to see this girl fail.
It is
This
not
is-
a moment for ideal for failure.
No. I have confidence in her. It's just if there is a way that I can help, I will.
I believe she can do it, but with the to practice and learn to minimize the risk to herself at the same time. Because if she takes too long and they fight back, be not ideal.
Yeah. She's gonna fire off a text to Bologna that it might be a good idea for us to do some combat training today with everyone who is willing.
Text that off. In the security car, Tyr, who's in the passenger seat, takes a look at his phone, and sort of looks over it at Joe and James. The suggestion's been floated that some combat training might not be amiss if you guys are up for it.
I think that would be very helpful
All right.
and entirely appropriate.
We can get some practice in. Anyone who needs it can get some fighting practice in, and I understand that it's a little cagey about normal mundane humans heading into your space. So anyone who needs to go to the commons can do that after, before, whatever needs to be done.
No, I really I would rather keep myself occupied.
Understandable. Well, let's I guess we'll arrange that for everybody once we all get back. And unless there's anything that needs to happen over the course of the rest of this car ride, you all get back. Both vehicles park in Jackson's lawn and or garage.
Mm-hmm.
And all of you have returned. Notably, Frank/Lisa have still not showed up.
Fine with me.
Been a while.
Nah.
Brizzy is also perfectly fine with Frank Lisa not showing up.
Joe is entirely too preoccupied with her own shit to really worry about Frank or Lisa right now.
As the group reconvenes between the two cars, Bologna calls out, "All right, anybody who needs to do some combat training, needs to get ready for coming problems, go ahead and grab your weapons of choice and meet me out back, and we'll get some."
And if we don't have any weapons of our own,
Then we can provide. That'll definitely be part of it. Also, you might want to acquire some. If you intend to be performing acts of violence, it's probably good to have the tools with which to use them. I don't know why Tyr became James for a minute there.
Cassandra will walk by Joe and just pull out a knife from who knows where and just handle pointed towards her.
okay, weapon acquired. All right. Thank you.
I'm gonna go get out of this skirt.
We'll also get you some guns to play around with.
Guns I can use.
Yeah, you can always be better at it, though.
I know. I'm just I don't have a lot of experience, but that's the one thing I can do.
So we'll hone what you know, and we'll get you better at the stuff you don't. Or at least give you the chance. It'll be up to you how you adapt to it. AKA, I can give you the training, but you still got to spend the experience.
I understand.
So, people change into different outfits, grab weapons, meet out back. There will be some time taken as Fixer heads out after dropping everyone off and goes to start studying the information they've got to feed on. Tyr will teach anyone who needs it, give them pointers on handling firearms, give them tips on using any kind of melee weaponry if they need. We'll just sort of generally give a hands-on but not full contact teaching method, trying to avoid people getting hurt in the lead up to what is going to potentially be a dangerous encounter. But will provide enough training to allow people to justify improving their weaponry and or firearm stats, and potentially even brawl if you really need it.
Frisian makes a point to try to practice fight against everybody.
Yeah. And Bellona's making a solid effort to not let anyone get hurt, because there's important shit to do, and we cannot have injured party members.
I wonder if Frisian's able to actually point out things that Tyr is doing wrong with knives.
Using your claws as a reference.
Using that Frisian is military trained with knives.
Go ahead and roll me intelligence and weaponry, or no, wits and weapons.
Let's see, make sure nothing else selected. Wits and weapons. Normal roll. No modifiers. A success.
Let's compare. So the thing that you learn as you pay attention is that Bellona probably has military spec or better, potentially even special forces or better quality training with close combat. As you find that you're not seeing a whole lot of holes in their fighting style, especially with knives. And in fact, you are finding a few things that you might have learned by watching. Either because you were rusty or because training has advanced in the 80 years that you've been gone.
How is, because I know both I know Tyr and Frisian and Cassandra are all talking about knife fighting with Joe. How is she doing with that?
Roll me just a quick strength and weaponry, real quick.
Strength and weaponry. Okay. No modifiers.
No modifiers.
Okay.
So you're
that great, huh?
You're getting, well, you only had 3 dice to begin with. That's to be expected. You're getting a little bit frustrated just by it's that early stage of I know what I should be doing and I know what I should be able to do, but I'm not there yet. That becomes alleviated with practice, which is what Tyr is trying to give you. It's just giving you repetition of stances, strikes, motions, deflections, the just running you through your paces of here's how you use a knife, here's how you swing a knife, here's how you block someone swinging at you with a knife. Just giving you the steps to repeat until they become rote, basically.
Here's how you don't fuck up.
Yeah. And it's a little frustrating that this isn't as instinctual as you feel like it should be, but as you sort of show that frustration, Tyr says, killing people is not as natural as assholes might make you think it is. It takes practice. Even just using a knife is not something we evolved for directly. We learned that shit. It takes practice. Our hands are not shaped to hold a knife innately.
Like for military people to do it, they are broken down for weeks until their mind's basically nothing, and then rebuilt to do so.
It takes a lot.
Oh,
You're getting a crash course. You're not going to be a specialist by any time soon, but you're going to be able to defend yourself, and you're going to be able to stick someone in the neck with the pointy end.
that's all I need to do. Just
Now,
thinking how I don't have a prayer.
I just want to point out one thing here. You've got a little bit of training on the guns. You got a little bit of training on the knife. Now, we are overlooking one of the biggest parts here. If at any point she gets disarmed, do you know how to defend yourself in a fight? Do you know how to actually? Do you have any self-defense training?
Can I roll for that?
Roll me strength and brawl.
Strength and what?
Strength and brawl. Which I'm pretty certain is the same pool for you.
Yeah.
You have an amount of self-defense training, about as much as you have with firearms, which is to say that you're proficient and are able to protect yourself, but you are by no means a specialist. It's not something you ever really had to focus on. So, yeah, you know how to defend yourself about as well as you know how to defend yourself with a knife or a gun. So you're not really going to be at any disadvantage in any of those three situations compared to the others until you've gotten better at one.
I mean, you have to remember I worked retail, so I don't really have like a terrible need for this other than, how to defend yourself in an armed robbery.
Your retail experience and my retail experience were very different.
Well, I mean, it is rare to get held up at gunpoint in a bookshop, but it has happened.
Oh no, I just mean wanting to use a knife on people.
I didn't say want.
I said need.
I said need.
Something can serve two masters.
Want is an entirely different story. And there's a list that is kept under the counter.
You like Bologna's taking a good like repetitive stance on just drilling you on, basic firing motions, basic thrusts with a knife, defensive stances, just getting you the practice that you need.
Till it's just like,
yeah, until it just becomes a thing that you can do.
That's where I got it.
And he points out any amount of this might just leave your head in a combat situation, but if any of it sticks and you can use it in a situation when you are in danger, it'll give you a leg up.
right.
And that does not mean that you failed if you enter a combat situation and it all just goes away. That happens to just about everybody.
Good to know. I'm really glad I know that going in, so I don't feel, like a failure when it inevitably happens.
You ever rehearsed a line for like 3 weeks solid and then you step out under stage lights and it all just gone? Like that, but your life's in danger.
Oh, so like
Low stakes.
totally fine.
Don't worry though, you'll have people there to keep you safe.
That I believe. Things you never thought you would have to, things you thought you'd never have to learn, things you thought you'd never have to do.
Believe me, I could write a book.
Myself and several other people I know could write books.
I can only imagine. And I do not take that lightly.
All I can imagine is during this very serious conversation, Frisian's trying to play fight with Cassandra.
You know what? Fuck it. I want to know.
You want to know what?
I need to know.
See how their play fight goes. Both of you roll your respective combat.
Oh my
stats.
god.
Would he have specified hand to hand?
Nah, Frisian will say use your sword and shield.
Okay then.
Frisian has an unfair advantage having built-in weapons, so.
Frisian has claws that are useful. Frisian rolls strength and brawl, and Cassandra rolls strength and weaponry.
It is strength and brawl, that's right. Strength. Not strength dexterity, strength brawl.
So, Cassandra, you're trained with a sword. You're not like a seasoned combatant with one, but you know what you know your way around a blade and shield. You are caught off guard not by the animal nature of Frisian, because you kind of expect that with the way that he looks. What catches you off guard is the practiced precision that Frisian brings when he actually enters a combat state. You see the soldier underneath the fur, as the claws are very effective at deflecting swords, pushing aside shields, finding openings. It's a very well fought match, and you are confident that you have held your own against a trained soldier, but the upper hand is clear.
By the end of it, Cassandra's just sort of like panting very heavy, dripping sweat, like hands on knees, bent over, and just thumbs up.
Out of character, I also, I specified this as a play fight. Because in an actual fight, you have to spend willpower to fight me.
He is terrifying.
Fair enough.
I also have the defensive combat merit, which took me looking at 4 books to find again.
But while that's happening, Marlena, are you just sort of sitting and watching, or are you
Yes.
getting anything in particular done?
Nope. Sitting and watching and occasionally throwing out comments.
Throwing some shade while they're working?
Absolutely. I'm taking him. I am taking a little bit of a brief amount of time to decompress from what has been a stressful few days. Let's put
Yeah.
it that way.
I can just imagine Jackson making a comment about how this is the most they've seen Frisian move.
Possibly.
Very possibly.
A couple of hours of training pass, several hours. And at the end of it, Jackson just sort of waves everyone to give it a rest. And
Yep.
says, or not Jackson, Tyr. I don't know why I took your name for a minute.
How dare.
But yeah, Tyr waves everyone to give it a rest and just lets everyone know, don't push yourselves too hard or you'll be exhausted for when we actually have work to do. But you've done good today. You've got some practice in. You'll learn more as you go. This is the kind of thing that takes repetition. But you've done enough repetition now that I have more confidence in your ability to stay at least cohesive, or at least coherent under pressure. Which is more than most any civilian can honestly say they have a right to.
I will take you at your word and believe you. Because you would be the expert and I would not.
Just remember, while it might be life and death in a combat situation, I have it on good authority that you've endured so much worse and have already come out of it. A threat with someone on the other end of a knife is just that. Either you go to sleep forever or they do. But in either case, it's just what it looks like on the surface. It is not anything, not even a candle to what you've already been through. Because even if you lose, that's it. You don't deal with that for how long you've dealt with it.
I need a minute if you'll excuse me.
Here, nods and lets you head off to wherever you need to be.
Just gonna go sit on a porch swing or something.
And
Something of that equivalent.
And Bologna looks over at Cassandra and says, I don't know if that helped or not, but I would appreciate if you, as someone who can relate to that, checks on them in a minute.
I'll give her a few minutes. Let her breathe. Sometimes she just needs space to process what she's going through.
Yeah. In any event, I will get out of you guys' hair in case you need to go do changeling things in places that I'm not welcome.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I don't know what that was, but
And Tyr will head home.
all right. So I guess we're heading to Dollar World, right?
Yeah.
In a minute, we'll wait, but whenever y'all are ready.
So we're just gonna give Joe about 10 minutes to just think through some stuff and then go find her.
Good job. You've had about 10
Frisian.
minutes to yourself. Frisian?
Frisian's probably gonna go take a shower.
Yeah, that's fair. So, Joe, you've been about 10 minutes to yourself, just
Mhm.
thinking, processing as you will, before Cassandra walks over.
She will knock on the door frame of whatever room you're in.
You're a little quiet, Julia.
It's from having to change my resonance for voice
Ah.
training
Yeah.
because I become naturally soft spoken when I do it.
Mm.
But I will do this. So,
That just cut, whatever that did just cut you out completely.
can I be heard now?
Yes.
Okay. I think it switched microphones on me, so I'm gonna check that. But she's gonna knock lightly on the door frame of whatever room Joe's in currently.
Oh, hey.
Hey, I just came check on you.
Oh, I'm okay.
You know-
I just needed to. It's been kind of non-stop. I just needed to step aside for a moment. But I'm okay.
And I'm gonna tell you the same thing I tell my spouse all the time. You do know it's okay not to be okay, right?
Oh no, I'm definitely not okay.
Okay, there
I'm
we go.
okay. I mean, I think if I were okay with any of this, I would be more of a monster than whenever I was taken.
Just a second. Okay. Cassandra is going to just take a deep breath at that. Whatever they did to you while you were gone, they that is a different country accent. Hold on. Whatever they did to you while you were gone, you're not a monster. You never have been. And none of us are. I'm sure some of us are. I'll rephrase that. But Joe, this is huge. You're not. You're allowed to be not okay about it, and whatever you feel after you go through it, I'll be there for you so that you don't come out on the other side alone.
I think
Plus,
that's
you
my.
got that awesome husband of yours.
Oh, I do. I do. No, without Without him, without y'all, I don't think I would ever have any hope of coming out on the other side of this.
I think I've said it before, but I think you're a lot stronger than you give yourself credit. Listen, I just want you to know that I see that the situation sucks. I don't. I can empathize. Uh, not exactly, but you know, you're gonna get through it. We're gonna handle this, and then we'll figure out what happens afterwards.
I mean, it feels like did you ever go swimming as a kid?
She just sort of holds back a giggle. Yeah, I was kind of a fish.
Did you ever used to go to a swimming pool with a diving board?
Yeah,
And there would always be a line a mile long for that diving board. And you're waiting and you're psyching yourself up and you're ready to go. And you say, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this. And then you climb up the ladder and your feet hit the diving board and you're at the very end and you look down and you've got to do something because there's people waiting behind you and it's a lot harder to go back the way you came than it is to just jump. Yeah, I really think that was my first like adrenaline rush as a kid. I couldn't get enough of that diving board, but every single summer it's like I had to work up the nerve again. I don't this is what that feels like. I know I know I've said this before and I know I'll probably say it again, but I know I've been very jokey about, wanting to stab something or somebody or, you know, get a little knife happy. Um, but now I'm climbing the ladder to that diving board and I've got to face it. I've been waiting in line all this time and now I'm getting closer to jumping. It's a little more real. But unlike the diving board, I hope it's something I never have to do again. I know you're a writer, and I know that that very long ass metaphor was a terrible one, but just thank you for not laughing outright.
sounds terrible at all. And let me tell you something kind of embarrassing. From the ages of 10, when my mom would let me go on the attempt the big slide or the big diving board. The one at our pool was like 15 feet, and in the ages of 10 to 16. Every summer, every time we went there, at least 5 to 6 times a year, I would wait in line. I would get to the top, and then I would climb back down. I was that kid. Until I was 16, my older sister Maeve decided that she didn't want to wait, so she climbed right on behind me and kicked me in. I love Maeve, but sometimes she can be a bitch. I mean, that with all the love in the world.
I get it.
But it's
I mean-
natural to be afraid and worried. And we're all going to be there to help you tomorrow. Or, yeah, it is tomorrow. So,
Maybe
you got this. Potentially tomorrow. You,
Potentially
you-
what?
Potentially tomorrow. You got this. Yeah.
Well, either way it turns out, I'm not going to worry about it the next day. Can't exactly worry if I'm dead.
Well, before I got surprise kidnapped or adopted into the fairy world,
Good
Julia
price
has lost where
adopted.
she was. Yeah, Julia has lost where she's going. This I had a therapist that told me that thinking in black and white like that isn't healthy. Also, I don't know if you remember what Dr. Croak said, but we're all living in a storybook. I would not go throwing out foreshadowing if I were you. So say it with me.
Say what?
We're going to kill them all, and we're all going to walk out of this. Fine.
We're going to kill them all and we're all going to walk out of this. Now,
Gotcha.
I need to repeat it 500 times like your spouse had me do those flipping knife moves 500 times.
I think you can get away with about 100 instead of 5.
Bring me a chalkboard.
So pat you on the shoulder. And pull you in for a hug.
You know, you're the first time I've ever felt like I knew what it was like to have a sister.
I
That's
know I,
the only way I can understand what you're saying about calling Maeve a bitch and meaning it with all the love in your heart.
I know I have siblings, but you just like them, you feel like home. So, All right, let's stop being all sappy and go see if we're ready to hit the Dollywood.
Get some funnel cake because I really want some funnel cake.
Fuck yeah, we can get funnel cake.
Yes, let's get funnel cake.
Funnel cake to be had.
Fried cheese and funnel cake. Come on, let's go.
Frisian gets a shower. Jackson, are you doing anything before you head to Dollywood?
I don't think so. Jackson is kind of in. Jackson is kind of in I'm going to be chill right now mode because Jackson was very not chill recently, and Jackson needs to make sure that Jackson doesn't kill anybody until it's time to kill people.
You don't need any preemptive murder
We
going on.
do not need to jump the gun on the murder.
So
Or
Jackson-
jump the knife, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
Whatever gets the job done. We're not picky.
Jump the handsaw.
Mm.
So with Jackson chilling until it's time
Yep.
to head towards Dollywood, that's where we're going to take our break, and we'll come back in just a bit. Remember, when we take our break, you take your break, so feel free to do whatever you need to do, sit up, stretch your legs. We'll be back after these few messages. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
We're back.
All right. So we join up as the main group is headed to Dollywood and dropping Trevian or Frisian off at their job on the way. While that's happening, is roughly around the same time as Frank. What are you up to?
Well, I need a strong emotional reaction from a large group of people, and there's a lot of traffic going on.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Those
Wait a
are
sec.
not sentences that you want to hear in conjunction with each other with a changeling.
Actually, I want to see where this goes.
But I need something that can, in no way, shape, or form, be traced back to me. So, I need to use something that the police would certainly not have any way of tracking.
Start stripping.
I actually have been naked all day. I cannot get any more naked.
Well, there goes that idea.
It just so happens that I look like I'm wearing Under Armour when I'm naked. So, what would happen if, per se, some Fey Briars happen to wrap around a car tire? Just briefly.
Things depending on the reaction of both the Briars and the person driving and the wheel of the car.
But then they vanish immediately after, right?
It depends which contract you're using.
Thorns and brambles. No. You can leave a trace as part of, the special thing to not have to pay for it.
Let's grow around the changing with rays and color. She moves and person. Action instant. So the problem is, the effect carries on around you. Like, if you leave, the effect will leave with you, but as for the duration of a scene, the effect will carry on around you.
Okay, so it's not just something where I can direct it that well.
I mean, you can leave the Field of Thorns in place if you use the Field of if you use the Field of Thorns effect, but they will persist for the scene.
Yeah, that sounds like something that would be traceable.
I mean, kind of. In that there will be thorns there for a bit, but by the time you're gone and anyone would go to inspect them, they would go away.
Yes, but the other changelings might hear about that and
Oh, definitely. If changelings are paying attention, that's something that's very obvious.
yeah. Let's not draw that ire. So,
And to cause a car accident more naturally.
yes.
Jump on the hood of a car.
Well, you see, the problem there is, again, I don't want to be the center of the focus, because then police reports, and that becomes an issue. And I certainly don't want an ambulance trying to check me out. So we're gonna go with
always options of going somewhere else to hunt your glamour.
Yeah, that's
Or
probably what we're gonna do.
panhandle.
No, we're not gonna do anything quite so crazy at this point in time. So I'm gonna find my way to Dollywood to just harvest glamour the old-fashioned way.
And yeah, Dollywood is a good place for like. There's a reason the Commons is set up in Dollywood.
Yeah.
It's a very it's a theme park. It is a place where there are already going to be people in heightened states of emotion for one reason or another. It is not hard to induce a little bit more and get some glamour off of people.
Go to Glamour, go to Dollywood, harvest some glamour, get some rest in the evening, and then in the morning I have a cabin in the mountains to go to.
Are you walking there or
How far is it?
well, you're in the middle of Knoxville, and Dollywood is in Pigeon Forge, which is little bit. 1 second. About 3-ish towns over.
Is there any easy way to navigate by hedge, or any reliable way to navigate by hedge?
No, the hedge is inherently unreliable.
Cool.
You can try, but the hedge is a landscape that changes.
So what you're saying is, I got to get an Uber.
Yeah, that would probably be the easiest way. Do you have money?
Not a significant amount.
So what is your plan here?
Well, step one, I need money. Step two, I need emotions. Looks like we're busking.
All right. Go ahead and give me a performance roll. What performance are you providing?
Well, given that I don't have a ton on me other than a magic flute and my voice.
Start performing music?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and roll me presence and
Expression.
Google Maps says Dollywood to Cradle of Music Park in Knoxville is an 11.5-hour walk.
1, 2, 3. 3 successes.
So you are able to pull 3 glamour off of your performing in general, off of people who are inspired by your performance. And also you make a decent amount of like tips and change, which should be more than enough to at least cover an Uber to Dollywood.
Well, now I need to get to the mountains.
Dollywood is technically in the mountains.
Yeah.
The area that the shack is in are the mountains that overlook Dollywood.
Cool.
That would be a much easier walk from Dollywood to that shack.
That's where we're going.
Okay. So are you going straight to the cabins rather than to Dollywood?
Yeah. Have James and Joe been staying at the cabin or not?
Not recently.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
Not been staying at the cabin. No.
So I'm safe to go whenever.
As far as you know.
Yeah.
So you take an Uber to the cabin. Meanwhile, at roughly the same time, the rest of the group arrives in Dollywood proper. The group having been purchased season passes by Cassandra previously, so there's no one stopping you or getting in your way as you sort of flash a pass and walk in. There was mention of funnel cake being gotten on the way in.
Yes. Joe is focused on funnel cake and fried cheese and slushies and whatever else. Because she has not eaten in quite some time.
Food is delicious.
And has been working very hard.
Like, having been to Dollywood previously, the fair food at Dollywood is delicious. Um, it is fair food. It is as greasy and as like sugary and like as you would expect.
Yeah.
But it's damn good.
I believe it. I have to take your word for it because
Yeah.
I've never been
So
there.
you get some fried cheese and some funnel cake and have your fill to ease the grumbles of your human stomach, which has not had food in a while.
Like she's just gonna be in the middle of like stuffing her face and offer some to James. Like, you want some?
Yeah, hell, why not? No take some. It was real good.
Probably gonna regret
Ugh.
it later, but you know, whatever.
You don't got to regret it later if you don't want to.
You for you to say.
It's all in the mind.
No, honey, it's all in the digestive system.
I don't know about you, but I'm sort of built like a furnace now.
Yeah, I know. I'm not.
As James has only gotten more able to eat anything than he was previously before any of this.
Joe's just looking at the spread, going, "I'm gonna need some more food."
Like
Because
before all of this happened, you knew that
James is not shy about eating.
Yeah. Like before anything happened and you were taken by your keepers, James already had a big appetite and could eat just about anything. Since then,
Only gotten worse.
yeah.
Well, you better be glad there's money in the bank, because
I will continue to count my blessings. You being first among them.
you're very sweet. You're not getting more of my funnel cake, though.
Meanwhile, the group, having gotten their food, makes their way over to the commons. And once again, you find yourselves in the 4 seasons divided open area of the commons with the central bar served by Liquatius. Uh, but there seems to be a small crowd gathered in the commons today. It doesn't seem like it's any major occasion, but there are more people here than you would typically see. Summer is having big open conversations. Spring seems to be having some kind of small party. There's a number of people from autumn hanging around, changing notes, and winter. It's always hard to tell how many people are there in winter because they always seem to have like this sort of faintly looming mist throughout their section that sort of obscures who's around, but there do seem to be more people than normal around the winter court as well.
Joe is just going to turn to Cassandra, because Cassandra is one that talked about the comments, be like, you know, what's your plan here?
Um,
I'm not entirely sure. I, I guess I can go see if I can find Whisperwind. Oh,
all right.
I don't. We just need another more backup, or are we wanting?
I don't really know what we what we need. I don't know. I don't know what the general attitude in the commons is towards killing fetches.
They're for it because it's a security risk.
Correct. So we're here because we need backup.
Okay.
There's a lot more. Correct? I'm just
mean,
clarifying the
do we want
situation.
them? Do we want them surrounding the building, or what? Or just on call, or what?
That's up to you, honey. This is your show. We're here because somebody owes us a favor. Or somebody owes Sandra a favor. And there are people who, again, would be positively disposed, shall we say? And at the very least, aware of the notion of there are these people, we need to kill them, here's why. However you want to figure them into your plans. That's up to you.
Joe is just drawing a blank and says as much. The only thing I can think of is having people outside. I don't know about people inside.
Perhaps tell us your woes, and we might be able to lend a hand.
Every
The
goddamn
whispering
time.
voice of Whisperwind. When
Joe
you
just
stand in the entryway muttering about your problems, sometimes it's easy to take an interest.
right. Before we continue, how much have you heard already?
Not much, just that you have a problem that needs dealing with, and we're looking for our assistance. 1,000 pardons and our sincerest apologies for the error in our previous judgment that caused your group to be brought into harm's way. That you get the feeling that one was directed more towards Cassandra as the person who had previously done a favor for them and had been snubbed by the reward.
You all are forgiven, and I know it's. How are you supposed to know?
It's our job to know, and that was a failure on our part. One that we will be glad to make amends for.
All right.
So come, join us. You can, if you feel uncomfortable delving into our domain, we could rest in the central area and discuss what is needed.
Delving into your domain.
A long, spindly hand appears in the peripheral of your field of vision and just points at Winter's section, which is shrouded in fog and mist.
Right. Could have guessed that. Basically, the fetches of my husband and my in-laws need to die.
Would you like us to handle this?
It's being handled. We would like backup.
What kind of backup?
That's the part we are. That's the part I am not sure about. It's not like I go about doing this every day.
Well, if you wish, you may tell us your plans, and we may see how we can best augment them.
Right.
You do have a plan, yeah?
Yes.
Lovely.
Joe is just going to look back at everybody else and go, I am going to go to Winter Court to continue this conversation. If anybody would like to join us, please feel free.
I would love to.
Sandra will join.
You make your way over towards Winter Court. You finally actually see Whisperwind appear in full, having always been just outside of your field of view. As she and her sort of faintly Ice Queen-esque appearance sort of leads your way into the mist. She has that sort of like long flowing rag and paint and pale hair that sort of flows in the wind. As she walks into the winter mist, she almost seems to fade into it for a minute, but you're able to just keep enough track of her to follow her to a small lounge. The temperature is chilled here. It is, as one might expect, a little bit lower than the ambient temperature in the rest of the area. But a small lounge is set aside for the group of you to have a conversation. There are chairs and tables set aside. And despite the fact this whole area is open concept, you lose the sound and sight of the outside area, as this place seems to have been made private for you. And Whisperwind floats her way over and lounges into a seat. Her every motion is always this sort of weird flowy sensation that doesn't always seem right, but so tell us your plans and we will see how best we may assist. Although we will, of course, again, offer our services to take care of the situation in its entirety, should you wish.
I understand and appreciate that offer. But speaking for myself personally, I literally need to have a hand in it.
Understandable.
And
So,
Joe is going to info dump the plan as it stands at the moment.
So at the moment you are waiting for more surveillance information regarding your target's habits and plans and general daily routine to find an opening that you can slip inside and strike.
That's correct.
Not the worst of formations. The groundwork has been laid sufficiently. The question becomes, how will you execute your final motion? Should you find an opening, would you slide inside on your own and make the kill yourself? Would you strike when they sleep? Would you endanger an accident?
The goal is to do it as they sleep. We want as little retaliation as possible.
Well, there is always the long, cold sleep, a personal favorite.
Excuse me?
It's getting colder in this place, and who's to say when a mysterious accident and a sudden cold snap over the evening and a failure of the heating and climate control inside of such an old building might leave certain vital occupants dead to hypothermia in their sleep.
You see, that might be a little hard to believe as there is going to be a knife to the neck.
Well, if you insist on such a brutal method, of course, we can always help.
I'm a little too impatient for hypothermia.
As you wish. If we are not to provide the method of exsanguination, perhaps then instead we might cover your approach and escape.
Say that one more time.
Perhaps we might cover your approach and escape. The long cold of an early onset of winter is, after all, excellent for inducing a surprise nap in those who are exposed to the chill.
I can see where that would be beneficial. We certainly want to cover our tracks.
And while the guards are asleep and unable to keep a watch upon the monitoring of the area, you and your group will be free to slip inside. Though, if you insist on taking your own hand in the environs, there will always be the risk of your prey resisting you. Should they have the chance to rouse their guards, there is little our enforced sleep would be able to do to keep them down.
I understand the risks. However foolish it may seem, I still need to at least partially do this by my own hand. It sounds barbaric, but I need to know.
Very well.
I can't have a shadow of a doubt. And it may haunt me for the rest of my life.
Then our shadows shall aid you in alleviating those doubts.
And everything comes with a price.
In this case, the price has already been paid. It is our redemption.
This is a pretty big return favor.
We're putting some guards to sleep with the chill. We're not getting our hands dirty. If you wake them up, that's on you.
Right. So do we need to sign a contract? Do we need to shake hands?
We will handle this for you. There is no need for anything so formal.
Right.
Let us know when you are ready to enact your plan, and our forces will be there to assist.
How do we contact you?
I'm certain that your compatriot still has our number. He says, looking over at Cassandra.
She nods.
Joe is just going to look to Marlena and Cassandra and go, did I miss anything?
Not that I can think of. You did good.
You did.
Your guards will be asleep when you arrive after giving us the signal. Whether you wake them and whether you complete your task without any further interference will be up to your own skill.
Understood.
But we will ensure that you have the stage set.
Thank you.
Very well. If there's any other business,
Not at the moment, but I shall always be thankful for your kindness.
we are all in this mad world together. It is better for all of us if our lingering threats are dealt with swiftly and efficiently.
I cannot disagree.
Very well.
I know I will sleep easier.
Well then, I suppose you'd best be on your way and make your preparations. We will await your signal.
Can we see the way out? Like,
She just waves a hand, and you see some of the mist sort of opens up a little bit just to let you see the way out.
okay.
All right.
Like, Joe is going to walk out of Winter Court, and as soon as she's like, about 5 steps beyond, she's just gonna like lean over, hands on knees, and just like take a deep breath out.
How's the drink sound?
I don't know if I should.
Why not?
Because I don't want it to be my go-to. But you know what?
I mean, I don't think that you are a problem drinker. Trust me. I know problem drinkers.
Then I think I would love to visit Loquacious for a few shots.
Wonderful.
Damn, I could put back some shots right now.
You head to the middle bar. And as you step up to the bar, and Loquacious, in his ever friendly demeanor, looks up at the group. Well, welcome back. What can I get the lot of you for the evening? You all look like you could use some liquid refreshment.
I need shots of something that won't mess me up too bad, but will take the edge off.
All right. So, nothing too strong, but something with a bit of a kick.
Yes.
Moscow Mules it is. He sort of grabs a handful of copper cups and starts to pour small shots.
Those are all for me, right?
Many of them as you need.
Cassandra just puts her credit card down on the counter.
Anything for the rest of you?
Oh, hell yes.
What can I get you?
You know what? Just follow up with these, and we'll just keep going with these and see whether that takes us.
More mule shots it is.
Night, day, whatever it is. I look outside because I honestly don't remember.
Does it really matter? I mean, I guess it does.
For those who are unfamiliar with the Moscow Mule, it is a cocktail of vodka, ginger beer, and lime juice, garnished with a bit of lime and a sprig of mint, and dispensed in shot form, in shot size, for however many of them you need.
Also, it's realistically probably evening.
Yeah.
Morning we had the meeting, spent the afternoon training.
You're probably
Yeah,
right.
it's getting to be the evening by now, yeah.
Didn't I have a husband around here somewhere?
Right here, says James as he sort of leans over and grabs one of the mule shots, downs it.
Fuck have you been?
Right behind you the entire time.
And you weren't gonna say anything?
Look, it's your job. It's my job too, but I'm not really the planning kind of person. I just kind of do what needs to be done.
And what needs to be done includes taking my shots?
Yeah, apparently. You ain't taking them fast enough.
You know what? No, I'm not gonna say it. No,
That's fine, because you know I'll make it funnier.
Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna. I've seen you eat. I've seen you drink. I'm not getting into a drinking contest with you.
All right. Well, let's eat, drink, and be merry then, shall we?
Why not? And she's just gonna down whatever shots are in front of her and ask for a few more.
The rest of you all just here to party for the evening? Does anyone else?
Yes, that's my role. That's my job.
All right.
Is anybody staying sober?
Cassandra is.
Okay.
Frisian's staying sober because he's not even there.
I was like, Frisian ain't.
Yeah, Frisian's out scaring the other people for money. Speaking of which, Frisian, are you going with the same werewolf gimmick for the evening, or?
Sure, unless they have something else in mind.
I mean, they're always happy to work with you if you got any ideas you want to play around with.
Frisian does not have any ideas for this.
All right. So they will wrap your claws in a little bit of like loose spark paper and just tell you to go to town on some loose metal pipes.
And Frisian proceeds to do so.
Go ahead and give me a manipulation and intimidation.
I do need to specify, I am not drawing glamour off this.
Fair enough. Because you're almost overflowing, right?
Yeah. Manipulation, intimidation. Anything else that helps? So modifiers.
+2 because of you are in a good position for this.
I also have the air of menace.
Yes, absolutely. Get another one. So +3.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you have a grand old time.
I also have a contract that I can just activate.
Yeah.
I could just startle somebody with overpowering dread.
Yep.
And if they're surprised, then I get it for free.
Which it's very easy to do here. But you have a grand old time scaring the shit out of anyone who comes into that haunted house.
Fantastic.
You get your day's work and your day's pay. Meanwhile, while they're partying and you're scaring, someone else is sneaking. So Frank, you're muted.
I am mute, aren't I?
Finding your way to the cabin is not difficult. What do you do when you get there?
Well, I'm going to see if the door's open.
Oh, it's a rental cabin. It's unlocked.
Cool. Take a step inside, look around.
You realize you're going to run into a problem here.
What?
This is a rental cabin.
Oh,
They were here on their honeymoon when they were taken.
okay.
There might be, maybe, if you're very good at your job, a trace that you can still find. But there have been a lot of people through this cabin since then. And a lot of events that have happened over top of it.
Well, does my hedge sense lead me to anything?
Let me reread Hedge Sense real quick.
It basically lets me tell if there's, as far as I can tell, any link to the hedge.
Character is especially skilled at finding her way in the hedge. So the hedge sense gives you a bonus to navigating the hedge and to
Okay.
finding food, shelter, and goblin fruit there. It does not help you finding doors to the hedge.
Gotcha.
And you've never actually seen the door to the hollow. You're only aware that it exists.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna explore this place and see. I'm trying to remember what Joe said. How did Joe say she was taken?
I think all that she's ever expressed was that she and her husband were honeymooning at this lodge, and her parents showed up, and then an Archfey showed up.
Okay. So first of all, I'm gonna take a step into this lodge. How big is it?
Oh, it's like a two room like log cabin lodge.
Mhm.
There's a bedroom and then the rest of the house. And the kitchen, there's a stove
Yeah.
in one corner. It's a small cozy place.
I will walk about the place and just see if anything stands out.
Roll me wits, composure, and weird.
Three successes.
Very nice. I will say that with 3 successes, you are able to, as you look around, you can sort of feel lingering traces of that trauma because something that supernatural does leave a relatively indelible mark, even if it can sort of fade with time. You are able to sense the presence of the essence that you're looking for here. The problem is it has become ephemeral with time. You would need to figure out some way of gathering it into a concrete essence at this point, because there is nothing physical that remains of the event. There is only the lingering sense and the essence of dread. You would need a way to collect that or find out how to gather it in order to actually acquire an essence that could be used for a tracking.
Given my general connection to negative human emotions as a lethopomp, and my proclivity for expressing things in music, do I feel like I could compose a song or a dirge that would encapsulate this feeling?
It might take an amount of time, but possibly. You might be able to draw out the essence that you're looking to track into music.
Would this magical pipe be of assistance?
Possibly.
We're going to try that.
All right, so you are going to roll manipulation and expression with an extra +2 from using the pipe as the instrument of choice.
I'm going to spend a willpower. That was really poor. That's only a single success.
So this is going to be an extended roll. You are going to need 8 total successes, and each attempted roll represents an hour of composition and preparation. And
Can I use my brownie's boon to expedite that?
I believe that cuts the time required in half.
It cuts it, so at baseline, it cuts it in half, and I can spend glamour to have the half to a quarter. And I can spend a second glamour if I want to have the half to have to an eighth, etc., etc.
Yeah. So yeah, you can. It'll cut it down. So basically, normally every roll in this extended roll would be an hour. So baseline, you'll cut it to 30 minutes.
Okay.
And if you spend more glamour, you will cut it even further. As long as you are unobserved, because the brownie's boon only works while no one's watching.
Yes. I'm going to spend that glamour to bring it to a quarter of time. So it's 15 minutes per check.
Yeah, and you're looking for 8 successes.
Well, I'm not going to keep spending willpower. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's
So I'm at 5 and 30 minutes. 1, 2, 3. That's 8. 45 minutes.
About 45 minutes, just under an hour of feverish work, working at a supernatural pace of composing and preparing this ballad, allows you to finally compose the dirge that sings the essence of the terrible tragedy that was befallen a family here. And now, more than just the essence of the child, you have the essence of the family itself.
Because they were all here.
Yes.
Frank will, of course, inherently absorb a lot of that emotion just in part of what he does and internalize it and bury it deep down.
It's a lot of panic to try and take in and bury. Roll me resolve and composure. Give me one more.
1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
You would have needed 5 to completely hold this down because you were already unstable from previous.
Yes.
Lisa's going to come out.
All right. I'm going to try to get myself. I've got what I need from here. I am going to go to a slightly different place that I know is nearby. I'm going to go to the knothole where I fell into the hedge, or rather came out, because I don't remember falling in, which I believe is just down the trail a bit.
Yeah, it's down the trail about 15 minutes.
I'm going to go down to that area, and basically I'm going to use this as an emotional mask to throw Lisa off.
Roll manipulation and subterfuge against yourself.
I don't have subterfuge.
So you roll a chance die against yourself. You're bad at hiding things from yourself. Well, you got 1 success. Roll another one. Okay, so chance dice require 10s. So
yeah, but there is a success.
And then roll wits and empathy, which you also don't have. So roll 1 die for Lisa. Fortunately, it's not a chance die, so she doesn't critically fail. But you have just barely managed to pull this off.
Okay. So Lisa's going to go down. So go down there, allow myself to become Lisa. Lisa's going to become sort of overwhelmed with all of this emotion and not knowing what Frank just did, but feeling the emotion of what Frank just did and resolve in this place. She is going to compose a different song.
I
Of
should
her
note that
escape.
whether Frank will acknowledge it or not, he just openly manipulated the fact that they are the same person.
Yes, he did. Yeah, Frank is kind of messed up right now. He is. Frank is in a bad place. That's why Frank is doing bad things. So because of the emotions Frank just shoved into Lisa, and Lisa not having the emotional composure of Frank, Lisa is going to try to verbalize in music how she is feeling about this location of finding the real, because she had no memories beforehand of it. At least not proper ones. She had fragments.
Roll me presence and expression. This is not a attempt to corral or manipulate other emotions. This is just you.
3 success.
So you have a time expressing this panic, this surprise, this energy that Lisa feels when relating to this place where she came into the real. The presence of this particular music there is something about this place that feels like an anchor that you didn't know that you had, like a place that is something significant to you. It's not a touchstone. It's not what a touchstone is. But in the absence of a touchstone, because you have not found one yet, the composition of music in this place allows you to recover one of those points of clarity damage.
Okay. And yeah, and it's nighttime. So going to make a gateway to my hollow and sleep for the night.
All right. So you are going to rest for the evening.
Yeah.
Everybody else, how long into the night do you end up partying?
Not very much longer, because like Joe says, she doesn't want to get messed up. She just wants to take the edge off.
Yeah.
So
A few shots in, you're starting to feel the buzz.
few shots, it's like, okay, I'm good.
No, I'm not. I'm not a few shots person. Not tonight.
How smashed is
Kind of can look. I think Jackson is generally very good at walking intoxicated.
That's a specific skill set that you have earned.
I mean, when you're running around stage in heels that are probably not made for
Running.
yeah, you learn. Also, probably doing so drunk, you learn how to balance
maneuver.
yourself well. So able to maneuver fine, but I'm not blackout, but very wasted.
Which version of wasted Marlena do we have tonight?
I think this is fun loving party Marley or Jackson. It's all Jackson right now.
Jackson. Okay. Jackson, you holding on there?
I'm fine. I'm doing great. How are you?
You're a little wobbly there, says James.
I'm good.
Yeah, you're proving that a little bit better than I would have expected for someone who's had that many shots.
There's nothing.
Listen, that's like an appetizer. She's fine.
This would, you know what? This would have been a this would have been a bored Sunday in the 70s. That's all I'm saying. I'm
sure,
fine. I'm good.
Sounds like
sure
I missed
the
the ticket.
partying back then was plenty crazy.
You have no idea.
I bet you have stories.
I do have a few.
That you can remember?
Has already launched into them. I do not have them currently, but yes.
Story time with Grandpa.
Listen, you are older than Jackson.
That's why I'm the only one that can say it.
No,
Friendly reminder, I don't think anyone else in the party was even born during the period that Jackson is referring to.
One person.
Yeah, anyone except for Frisian.
Yes.
Who was not around for it either.
That is also true.
I guess it depends on what kind of age we're talking about, though, because, you know, cumulative experience versus just earthly age is very.
We're talking about being around during the 70s, not cumulative experience. Not that you're even there, but
no. I mean, we don't know that Frisian's experience in the hedge was so little, and a lot of you experienced a lot in the hedge just by moving around. So, age is a fickle thing.
anyway.
What?
I just know. You know what? No, I'm not gonna bring it up. I'm glad you're doing all right.
I am doing fabulous.
Good. It's good to see that. That's more you.
With that ominous statement hanging in the air.
I was saying, like, rather than being locked in your room, like, having fun and drinking is more
Yeah, legit.
your thing.
Because I think it's funny. Frisian gets off work and tries to use the Uber app for like an hour before giving up and trying to call somebody.
So is it about this time, as it's approaching midnight? Who do you call?
Ghostbusters.
Probably tries to call Jackson first.
To Jackson. You are 3 sheets to the wind, but still able to walk.
To say it's
When
going to
your
be
phone
an
goes off.
easy. It will probably just before it goes to voicemail. Like just like it is that final like how like a quarter of a ring before it clicks over has started. Before it picks up. What's up?
I'm not sure how to use the Uber app. I've been trying for a while now.
Oh shit.
I know Cassandra
Where
showed me
are
how to
you?
use it once. I'm at the haunted house
Right. Where's that?
down in Gatlinburg.
Right. What's the address?
Gives an address.
Hold on just a moment. There's several seconds. You don't have to spell that for me because I did not spell it correctly. Anybody looking at Jackson's phone like over his shoulder, it's not words.
Joe is just gonna like do this. Like, would you like to handle?
What? I got what?
There's no. It's gibberish on your phone. Would you like me to order an Uber for?
Yes, please order the taxi service.
Yes. Can you hand me the phone, please?
Right. Hold on. I'm handing the phone over
All right.
now.
Hi. Rizian?
Hi, Joe.
Hi. Can you give me the name of the haunted house one more time so I can look it up?
Yeah, it's insert haunted house's name. It's at insert address.
Okay, and she's just gonna put it in there. It pops up in the Uber app. Okay. There'll be one there about 20 minutes to take you to back to Jackson's house.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hands the phone back to Jackson.
All right. But whether you have hung up or not.
Frisian is not hung up.
All right. I will see you later.
All right. See you
All
back
right.
at the house.
All right.
All right.
Do you actually hang up or do you just put the phone down?
I just put the phone down.
Frisian's still just there with the phone.
This is what happens when you let the old people use the phones.
Joe's just gonna look over, sees the call still going, and just like
Boop. Phone
and just like
call ends.
doesn't say anything. Just
So it's probably a good 30 seconds that you're standing there on an open call line before Joe just reaches over and taps the end call.
Which just means that you're hearing stories about the 70s.
Frisian like it bleeps at him like, oh, okay. And, like Joe said, like 20-ish minutes. And it's kind of just sitting on the curb waiting.
So with one of you waiting for your ride back, a couple of other you probably about to be driven back by Cassandra, and one of you sleeping in the hedge. That's where we're going to end for the week. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Ah.
Goodbye.